What's up, guys? This is Scroo from TwinstiqLP, and I am here today with Slime Rancher. I gotta be honest, I was not at all interested in this game. We started talking about this a little bit way back in an old podcast, just sort of mentioning how cute it looked, and just that it was basically a farm maintenance game, which I thought was, man, this sounds pretty boring, right? But I gotta be honest, this has been pretty fun. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what it's about. So first off, let's go down here. I think I've got to feed some guys. Oh, this one's got lots of food in it, actually. But okay, so these are some slimes you capture. Basically, you run out into the range. This is called the far range. You play as a character called Beatrice. And your little gun that you can see on the screen there, the big gun you can see on the screen, it's actually a vacuum. You can tell by the berries that I picked up there. And basically what you do is you go out and you capture slimes and you bring them back and you put them in cages, pens, corrals as it were. And so like we'll do that right now. I could use a couple more of these guys. Why not? So we'll just grab them with the vacuum. Pick them up, and I'm just going to drop these. Alright, so I got 5 pink slimes, and I can take them back to the proper pen, and you just shoot them into the pen, and they're happy. They go in there and you feed them. I'm using carrots for these guys, and here's some carrots. Let's pick them up and put them in the feeder. You don't start with feeders, you start with a corral about waist high, and then upgrades and stuff as you go along. Anyway, drop some carrots into the feeder here. Alright, now there's 27 carrots. That'll keep these guys fed, and when they eat, they sort of, for lack of a better term, crap out these little gemstones. I'm sure that it would be nicer to say that they compress them into a usable source, right? But these guys are super happy. These are rock slimes, rock slimes, and they drop different types of gemstones. And then you just turn the gemstones in for money, and that gives you more upgrades that you can buy. So these guys are pink rocks, and what you do basically to put these things, how to explain this, to breed them essentially. What you do is you use a colored gemstone from a different one of these guys, different slime. And then you drop that in as food, and when they eat that, I know it sounds disgusting, right? They're just eating another slime's excrement or their waste product, but that breeds them into different forms of slimes. Some you can find wild. Let's fire this into the feeder, the wrong place there. Pick those back up. That makes sure that they don't starve and that they stay happy. And yeah, so I've got a sprinkler on my garden here. This is growing carrots for me, and eventually they'll run out. They won't produce any more carrots, and I'll have to reload this with carrots. And that's, you know, it's just a sort of a time sink. This is an incinerator for things you don't want, and then that produces ashes, which apparently fire slimes eat. I haven't found a fire slime yet or been able to make one. Anyway, when you get your plorts, right, that's what they call the gemstones, then you turn them in, and this is the value for them, and this is market value, and it changes. So we're going to turn those in. And I'm very early starting this off. These are some phosphorescent ports. These are worth a little more usually. And this is what the game's all about. And there's some exploration to do on the outside. I'll show you a little bit of that as well. Q-berries. I don't know if these guys are eating Q-berries right now. Yeah, they are now. This is an expansion to the ranch. The overgrowth, right? And you pay your value in plorts to open up new areas to explore, and this gives me basically a new garden. I did this yesterday. There are chickens here for meat-eating plorts, or slimes, excuse me, and more gardens, of course. This is some more carrots. I'll pick these up before they rot on the ground. More carrots. And this is a fruit tree. And this one doesn't have a sprinkler on it, so I'm going to have to water it. And I've got a pond right here. Pick up some water. And I'll water my tree. That helps your crops produce more. Pick up some more carrots. And I've got some basic upgrades to my system here. These are heartbeats. And again, I need to water that one because I also don't have a sprinkler there. And ponds will drain, but they will also refill over time. Alright, so then we'll go deposit these into an area where that will be useful to us. This is a note. This is a sort of a story element from the previous ranch owner, an NPC. And this is another area to unlock. I believe this is the docks. This is going to take a little more money than I've got. Yeah, 5,000. But it'll give me this area down here. You can sort of see through the fence. Just more places. The world itself is pretty cool. And actually, the gameplay is kind of nice. It's if you think about something like, as delicate as the subject is, No Man's Sky, as far as collecting resources, it's pretty cool. And something, you know, a cross between that and maybe, I don't know, Stardew Valley in terms of ranch maintenance. And these guys like fruit. See, if you hover over them, you can see in the upper right-hand corner that they like fruit. So that's why I've loaded that up with Q-berries, many as I had at least. Meat-eating versions will eat the chickens. These guys like everything. As well as these guys, they like everything. And these guys like vegetables, right? So which is again why I load these up with carrots. So that'll give us a few there. And I'll put some more carrots in here. And you know what? I'll just fire some beets around here for these guys to enjoy. Alright, now we're should be good enough to take off and go a little bit of exploring. Do a little exploring. That's a pretty nice area. Now, I think that this game's optimization, it runs pretty well. This is only 2 times multi-sampling, but it's running at about 89 frames a second, I believe, last time I looked. Can't really tell right now. The relive overlay is over the top of it. Now these, you can just pick them up and take them back, but the pink ones really aren't worth much. You can see off in the distance there's a giant pink slime, and they will eat everything. I don't know what they're for exactly. My guess is that if you feed them enough, they'll drop a key or something like that so you can open up. There are like locked doors around and little treasure spheres, I think is what they're called, treasure chest type items that are locked. Yeah, so here's some stone plorts, I might as well grab those. Yep, see, there's one that bred itself right off the start. And if you're not careful around these rock plorts, they'll hurt you, not on purpose, but they are painful to run into. This sign, of course, means there's danger, so these guys are not a happy crowd. and they'll attack you. Unless you feed them, in which case they'll be happy. Pretty straightforward, basic controls. Controls are very nice. There's a little jetpack that you can get to fly around the map with. Takes energy. You know, it's a pretty standard built world. It's in its own way very attractive. Here are some tabbies. These guys eat meat. The pink ones eat everything, but like if we grab this chicken and throw it at that guy, there we go, he ate it. And he gave us a couple of tabby plorts, which are worth a little more here and there. Usually. And okay, so we got a big large one, and we'll just shoot him back out there because I don't need those guys. And here's water naturally occurring. Might as well pick it up. But it's interesting because there seems to be a sort of overlying story. You can see areas like way in the back there. You can sort of see some rings poking up out of the nowhere there, and that sort of makes me think that there's sort of an overlying kind of hidden story. Maybe there are ways to get out there, and I think that's interesting. Maybe there's a reason to do it. This is the giant tabby, and there's another. This is what makes me think that they open treasure chests. This is a treasure pod. It's locked, and I'm thinking that if you feed them enough, they will drop a key so you can unlock the chests, or maybe doors. It's getting to be nighttime, and that usually means some semi-bad things are going to happen. In the day, this doesn't happen. But you can see down here on the end, I'm taking you towards this locked door. And you can see like there's some evidence of an older civilization, and you know, so there's some intriguing points that maybe are never fleshed out. I have no idea. This requires a slime key. See, that another reason to think that maybe those guys drop keys, the big slimes, if you feed them enough. And there's the big moon. Pretty cool little skybox, real simply animated, but it's very pretty. Nice sounds. There's actually the slime sounds I'm not a real huge fan of, not necessarily because they're not cute or whatever. They don't necessarily, they fit. But the problem is that they're reused sounds. They're from back in the day, maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago, we had a game club for World of Goo, and those sounds for these slimes are the same sounds that were used in World of Goo. And I don't know, maybe they're the same developer, but I don't think that's true. Pick up some plorts. And here's some tars. Now this happens, these are bad guys. Tars happen when 3 different kinds of slimes come into contact with each other. You can only mutate them once. And if you mutate them more than that, they turn into those tars, and then they eat the nice slimes, and this happens every night. In fact, getting this, actually, I watched a video from Jim Sterling. He was playing this, and you know, he was saying every night is a genocide. I'm sure you probably watched the video. Anyway, yeah, this is a pretty fun game, actually. I expected not to have that much fun with this, and I'm finding it to be quite addictive. You jump in and you just start experimenting, and you make money, and you make upgrades, and I don't know, it's fun, and I'm having a good time just unlocking new content. But this is it. You know, there's some breeding that happens. Maybe I'll see if I can make that happen here. Let's see, maybe a phosphor plort. If I take that and drop into an area. It'll change their diet and what they do, and then they will of course drop different types of plorts which are worth more or less money depending on the market, and allow you to do more upgrading. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll pick up all of these guys except one. Okay, I'm going to drop him in here. And I'll grab these rock plorts too, because why not? And let's see what happens if we feed this guy a phosphor plort. Alright, so he turned into phosphor rock largo. Okay, so these were just rock plorts. Now if I gave that guy a tabby plort, he would turn into a slime. A tar slime. Let's see what happens there if he eats that. He might not. Yeah, see, that's... Now the incinerator comes in handy for that. Oops, I missed. Pick him up and we'll get rid of the unwanted bad slimes. Okay. So, but anyway, this, I think I might go ahead and drop these guys here. Turn them into phosphor plorts, or phosphor slimes, because those are neat. And I think I'll go ahead and drop an upgraded air net here. And a solar shield, because phosphorescent plorts are night vision, or night plorts, or excuse me, I keep saying plorts, slimes. Phosphor slimes don't appreciate sunlight, so we're going to put an air net over it so they don't fly away, and a solar shield so they don't die from the sunshine. And then they should eat these. There we go. And they like veggies and fruit, so that increases their dietary side, their dietary preferences. Increases the range of them, and they hurt a little bit. Not much. I haven't been killed yet. Okay. And more carrots are growing. So this is what it's about. It's just a cycle of experimentation and maintenance and making money and upgrades. And it's a lot more fun than it might seem like. Now, as far as replay value goes, I have no idea. At some point, I imagine this is going to become boring, and I will no longer care about this game. The good news is, it's $14. And these guys only drop phosphor plorts. I was hoping maybe I get a different type. Maybe rock phosphor or something like that. But I like these guys. They're pretty adorable. Okay. Oh yeah, and this is the exchange. So there are NPCs that will ask you. So if I drop 4 tabby slimes, 8 pink slimes, and 9 phosphor slimes, that's those guys over there. If I drop them in there, I'll get 6 pink plorts, 1 rooster, and 10 hens. That's not really a good deal for me, so I'm not going to do it. Alright, now these guys are needing some more food. So what I'm going to do, I'll throw these carrots over there. Let them eat those. I'll turn these in. I'll find some fruit. Put in their feeder. And that will make them happy. Let's go ahead and pick up all the plorts too. And undoubtedly you'll pick up some slimes. As far as I know, there's no way to discriminate what you're picking up. I might just drop some of this water in my pond back here if it hasn't recovered very well yet. I've got plenty of fruit from my fruit tree. My pogo fruit. Let's just drop some water on that. And on my carrots. And maybe I'll put the rest on the heartbeats. Just let the pond recover on its own. Alright, now, just for reason's sake, I can't talk. I was going to try and find a plot and make something on it. But I don't have any empty ones. Anyway, if you go here, you could demolish this plot. I could demolish this plot, rather. See what happens. In fact, let's just do it. Let's just do it. No, I don't want to do it. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Alright, 100 to demolish the plot. I'm going to remake the same garden that I had there. I've got the fruit to rebuild it. So if we do that, we'll say we're garden. It's going to cost us $250. And then, so this is set to be a garden now. And I'm going to throw a pogo fruit in there, and it'll grow a tree. There we go. That's all it takes, and it just starts happening, and it will do its own. Do its own maintenance essentially for a little while. Just water it, and fruit will come out. Cost you a little bit to make, but that's okay. For the purpose of this video, I'm okay with seeing that. Okay, and these guys, they need to be fed, so let's go ahead and drop these in here. And we'll drop these in here. And it's about 3 in the morning, so let's go in here and sleep till morning. And the process essentially starts over, and that's all there is to this game. It's just exploration, unlocking new areas, breeding slimes and making new ones, and apparently they come in lots of different varieties, and I think that's part of the fun, is trying to figure out recipes on making more rare and cooler slimes. And I don't know, maybe I'll put up another video of this in the future, guys. I don't know for sure if it's really worth doing that. I would recommend, if you're into these types of things, I would certainly recommend this, though. It's a lot of like maintenance and you know, sort of just watching stuff happen, but it's also some exploration, and there's a little bit of intriguing story, perhaps, going on. Why not, you know? Check it out if you're interested. It's only $14 right now. I think it's actually less than that. I think it's like $13.50 on Steam because it's still promotional. If this is a few days later and that price is not available, it will probably be $20, I'm guessing. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's what it was at full price. And that's it. Thank you for watching this, guys. Hopefully this makes you a little bit interested, or at least gives you an idea. There are lots of other videos of this game out there. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I've been Scroo from TwinstiqLP, and as always, have a great one.